Cool. So, how do you feel about the whole like dating scene?
Well, it's a little rough these days, to be
Mm,
honest. Especially because let me just say a little background. I've
okay.
been out of the dating scene for quite some time, right?
Right.
So getting back on how they say the horse, not to be like,
Whoa. Whoa.
but yeah, it's rough.
Mm,
Started getting on apps,
okay.
all types of apps, and it seems to be redundant, right? Because you're trying to meet this one person through all these different types of apps, but the
Right.
questions and the conversations are similar, so it's kind of tiring or repetitive. They're more repetitive than anything.
Right.
So at this point right now, yeah, I'm really not into all the whole dating thing. I don't. My perspective is, if it's meant to be, something will come knocking at my door.
Okay. You see, me when I was single, right, and I was dating, right, I had a different mindset, right. I wasn't looking for anything serious, so I was just dating people, and if something develops, something develops, and
Hmm.
that's just the way I personally
Yeah,
I enjoyed being single because like I was able to, not sound like a slut, but I was able to have like different
that's
part
you were.
not part. Yeah, I don't want to say partners because I didn't have multiple partners at the same time. What I was dating multiple people and just trying to get to know them.
Hmm.
And there was clear communication in the beginning for me, and that communication was like, we're not exclusive. If you want to talk to someone else, that's fine. And if something develops and we decide, you want to take it exclusive, and that's honestly the way I met my wife.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. Well, quarantine nowadays is just not the
I
same
mean,
anymore, bro.
dating right now is it's a whole different ball game right now.
It
Trying to
is.
date,
It
trying to
is.
date in these times is a little bit difficult, a little tough.
It makes it that much
So
harder, because you're now questioning, does this person have COVID? Should I be asking? Should that be my first question before STDs? Hey, did you get tested for COVID? And by the way, STDs take place too? Like,
oh my God, yeah. When you're dating, like, what are you looking for initially? Like,
initially, someone you can talk to, right? Because it's
yes, yeah,
usually awkward, right?
right.
So you can have that conversation going without having to pull at that other person's teeth, right? Like, you sit down, you say hi. See, my really go to thing is, and when I ask someone to go hang out, I straight up say, you know what? There's no expectations. We
Okay.
chatted for a week, 2 weeks, a month, whatever the time frame it was that we decided to text back or chat on the phone.
Mm.
Once we meet, if you don't like me, you don't feel it, you can go your way and I go my way and adios. Like, nothing
And
happened
can,
here.
and can you tell that from a first date, like right away?
I mean, you can just, sometimes you can, sometimes you can just be like, eh. To me, it's if he really took the initiative to continue having a conversation. You meet them, you say hi, and then if he's sort of like awkward and doesn't want to continue the conversation, then I'm like, all right, I'm out.
Right.
Adios.
But it's like, all right, I think it's kind of tough to gauge someone from a first date because not everybody's
Hence
gonna
why I'm
move.
single.
No, because it's hard to. Not everybody's has that confidence to really be themselves on the first date. So there's gonna be a lot of hiccups. There's gonna be a lot of mistakes. You're not gonna present your best self at all times, right?
I
So
would
that's I
think
think
so. I think that's where my expectation or my
right,
thinking is. You're going to be yourself on the first date. You want that first impression, right? That first
mhm,
impression is supposed to be the make it or break it, right?
right.
So you're gonna bring your A game. You're not gonna show up and give me your B or C game.
Well,
You're
if
gonna
you're
put
really
your best foot forward, right?
well, if you're really nervous, you're not gonna bring your A game. It's just you're gonna suck. Kind of
I
like
mean,
I'm
we can
sucking
all be
right now.
nervous. We're all nervous. I mean, this is your
Right.
first time doing this. This is my
Yeah.
first time doing this, and we're both nervous, and we're
Right.
still. I think we're doing pretty well. So I
All
think
right.
I think people. let themselves down sometimes and don't put themselves up front and say this is who I'm going to be. And then when you're done with the date, you're second guessing yourself because you're like, did I really bring my A game?
Right.
Yeah. But see, to me, it's I'm at a stage in my life where I'm not gonna wait. So you either bring your A game or you don't, and see ya. I think that's always been my go-to. Mommy Flo says you only get
Mhm.
one chance to make the first impression.
And I think that's kind of messed up because a lot of people mess up their
Your
first,
girlfriend, I
you
get
know.
you.
And I think that's where the messed up part is, right? You do only get that one chance to make a first impression, and I think if you go with that perception, you could be missing out on something potentially really, really good because somebody just could have been. What if you met this person, right? And to that person, you were just like so far out of their league that they felt uncomfortable, and they felt like discouraged or like they weren't good enough, so they're underperforming, so to speak.
No pun intended.
Maybe pun. Yeah, so what happens in that situation, right? It's like, do you give him another chance, or do you say, this is really him? This is not what I'm interested in. I want a guy who's a little more confident in himself. Like,
I guess that conversation, I would think, or would hope to have it right there and then. For him to be like, I am not comfortable. I'm usually not like this. Like, I'm nervous. Please understand. I think that should be part of the first date initiative. You might be thinking I'm a little awkward. That's only because I just met you. Conversation, then that's different. But if he just acts totally awkward and doesn't even address the issue that he has or he feels he has, then no, I'm not gonna give you another date.
all right, all right. So now let's take this like to the next level. Right now,
Yes.
you guys started dating, right?
Right.
Like we were talking on Facebook. At what point do you think you guys become mutually exclusive?
After talking and dating and going out,
Yeah,
for him to be my boo,
I guess so.
I don't know. I mean, I
Like, would
would
you
think.
like just like in the meme, right? Let's say you guys were dating for 6 months. Would you assume that you guys are mutually exclusive?
Oh, that meme that I posted. Yes, I mean after 6 months. I
Uh-huh.
mean, I'm not talking to anyone else, and I don't know if you are, but I should have maybe asked. But yeah, you're my boo.
Yeah, I had a stretch where I was single for 3 years, and I had a lot of the same female friends, and we were dating throughout that time, on and off. And at no point were we mutually exclusive, but it never got weird because there was that understanding that I wasn't looking for anything, and it never got weird, and it never until I met my wife.
Right. But like you said,
Right,
you told them up front. They
right.
knew where they stood. If that conversation was never had, and we're both
Mhm,
having conversations of, I'm looking for something serious, I'm looking
mhm.
to settle down. Well, after 6 months, I would think that that's what we were doing because that's what you
I,
said.
I think that's where the problem is because
Exactly.
you're assuming that
Exactly.
because let's
Yeah.
say you go out and you see him on a date with someone else, you're gonna be, what the fuck is going on here?
Exactly. I mean,
and
I
he
saw,
and he's probably not even gonna be nervous. Hey, how you doing and stuff like that. You mean the
exactly.
fuck you mean? How am I doing? Who's her?
Yeah.
She's my date.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah. And I
hey,
think
lose
it's
my number. Oh well.
next.
Delete. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's again, the initial conversations that he might not have said, you're my girlfriend, but he was looking for someone. So I'm
Mhm.
assuming that that's what we're doing here, right? Again, assuming.
Right.
Um, but his words weren't, I'm just looking to see where this goes and then maybe blah, blah, blah. Then I know, all right, you're testing out the waters, you're
Right.
dating other people. Then to me, those words are 6 months down the road, we're still just hanging out, getting to know each other. But if you're telling me you're looking for a wife, you want to settle down, you want to have kids, in 5 years, I want to have a house and all this stuff.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's what the pursuit is to
Yeah, I
be.
think
Buddha.
I think I think the big problem is when you dating the guy in the beginning, he tells you in the beginning that he's not looking for nothing serious, and you continue to pursue this person, thinking that you guys are making progress. If he never communicated that you guys became more than just dating, then I think that's where the mistake happens. Because he told you in the beginning, and you guys never revisited that conversation.
Right.
So now you're under the impression that things are going pretty good. He's not complaining. I'm not complaining. We have a great relationship going. Why mix it up by bringing up that conversation? You're just assuming. So I think that's where the big problem comes in, because if he already told you in the beginning of the relationship that he's not looking for something serious, and he's continuing to date you, he's comfortable with the situation. So now it's up to you to decide whether you want to continue this route or have that conversation and see where he stands. And if he still says that, I like things the way things are, maybe I think you got to make that decision to just move on, because he's not nothing serious.
Yeah.
And I think that's where a lot of the problems come into play, where people, and it goes both ways, not just the guy saying it and the girl, because the girl could be in the same situation also. She could be saying, she's not looking for nothing serious, she's just trying to have some fun, and just most of the time the guy would just be enjoying the process, enjoying the thing, and then just assuming that things are going great, and that's where it just gets messed up.
It gets messy because he's still doing him and I am doing nobody.
Mm-hmm. All right, now let me ask you another question, which is going to be a little more personal. Not personal as an information, just personal as in what's important in a relationship, right? We're going to go into the love and sex aspect. So when you're looking for a meaningful relationship, you have to gauge what's important to you, right? And if you're a real physical person, the sexual aspects will be important to you, right? And if you're not, I guess the other part of the relationship is more important to you. So let's say you met a really nice guy, right? He's fucking awesome. He's everything that you want in the guy, but he's not that great in the bedroom. How do you make that? At least you're honest, But I think that's important. You have to be true to yourself, and that's important. I'm gonna tell you why. Because let's say, the physical aspect is very important to you, right? You decide to give this nice guy a chance because he has everything else except that aspect of the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
As time passes and you guys continue to grow your relationship, you're gonna be missing that component of the relationship.
Yeah.
And I think that's gonna really, and it doesn't matter how great of a guy he is, man. If that aspect of the relationship is important to you, you have to be honest to yourself and find out, how much of that will you deal with, like. There's a scale, right? There's a scale, right?
I mean, it's...
All right, let's say there's a scale.
No, it's a good question, right?
Right, let's say there's a guy who's horrible in bed, then there's a guy who's great in bed, or whatever. Is there, like, a middle ground where you're willing to settle if he's a good guy? And because what I notice is that if a guy is really good in bed, he has more leverage. He can be more of an asshole, and that tends to work out in the guy's advantage when he's really good in bed.
Yeah. I mean, the answer is yes. Guys who are better in bed get away with more shit than nicer guys do, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Why that is, I'm not quite sure. I haven't had the opportunity to date a really nice guy, right?
But I guess you had a lot of great sex then, right?
I mean, if that's how you want to interpret it, I'm not going to correct that. It's not been awful, I'll let you know that much.
Okay, yeah.
No, if a guy that was nice and his sex was lacking, his sexual whatever it was, depending, I guess it depends how long we've been dating. So let's say we were dating for a while. I would give him a chance. But I would see, is there a problem with you? I mean, is there something wrong with you?
All right, do you think bad sex can improve? Do you think bad sex can improve with communication, or do you think it's
I think we can work with that. Yes. I mean,
with what?
Depending on what. I mean, listen.
Can you work with that? I'm just saying,
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it depends. He got other body parts. I mean, you know,
I guess so. Right. That's
exactly. You
true.
have to teach and
Yeah.
you have to be willing. I think we would start medically, but if it's small, then it's
Mhm.
something that,
Right.
it depends how much attraction there is too. I think there's a lot of that has to go into it as well. If you're very attracted to someone,
Hmm.
it's not the size of the boat, it's the motion in the ocean.
Okay, but what if that boat doesn't have any paddles?
I mean, we'll get some. Nowadays, I think there's plenty out. He might feel a little insecure and self conscious about it, but I
Right.
mean, if he's game for it, why not?
Again, I just want to thank you for coming on here and
Yeah.
sharing some of your insight when it comes to dating, love, and sex. I think we touched on some really, really important topics, and we got at least one person's perspective.
Yep.
I think we can agree that communication is huge, whether it's dating or in the bedroom. And yeah, man, it's a slippery slope out there. I just think that I don't understand the whole player mindset, right?
I think that really comes from a stream of lack of self esteem.
Yeah.
And it's only because of experience and observation. I mean, I'm obviously not, a therapist or anything, but
Right. Neither am I.
from the way, oh, look at you, player.
Yeah. No, I'm not a player. And I don't
I
crush a
think
lot.
that arises from self esteem issues. They are trying to get that high of every girl wants me, and, I can provide them with what they need. So why
Right.
settle for one, right?
I just think a lot of people are just insatiable. They just have like this desire that they just can't fill or whatever. And it's just I honestly it's a really selfish thing because in today's like dating landscape, I don't think you have to be a player. If you just want to have sex with different people, you can be single, you can date,
Yeah.
and you can give them that opportunity to decide whether they want to be in that situation. You shouldn't play with someone's emotions and make them believe that you guys are something that you're really not. Like you would be surprised like how many people are okay with just having casual sex, you know? And even
Blink
like
twice.
say again?
Blink twice for yes.
No, it's just so true. Like there's no need to be like stringing somebody along and playing with their emotions.
No, yeah, no, not yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. They shouldn't. I mean, there's no need to tap into people's emotions to get to where you
So
need to be.
that
Like, you
yeah,
just want to get some pussy, then that's just what you want to get.
absolutely. And this the playing field is vast, man. You can find people who are open to that and are
Yeah.
okay with that. And
Hmm.
who actually, have open relationships or just what I like to call is just being single.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just
I
playing
mean,
the field and seeing what's out there and just having a good time.
yeah. I mean, just set some ground rules. If that's
Yeah,
exactly what
absolutely.
you want, make sure that we're getting treated, tested, letting each other know, being
Playing safe.
advocate for safe sex. Um,
Absolutely.
Definitely letting each other know, hey, it wasn't you this week, it was somebody else, but I got clean.
That can be too honest sometimes. I just think that if there's a
I
mutual
mean, it is
understanding,
what it
and
is.
you don't have to be well. This week I was with Tom, Dick, and Jerry,
Uh-huh.
so I hope that doesn't bother you so much.
Well, let me look at my calendar. I could fit you in between 3 and 5. Let me know. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah,
just one of
it's
those
it's
things.
tough. That's why players will be players. I think it's just the natural high they get from it. That's just my personal opinion.
But you don't. That's what I'm trying to say. You don't have to be like you
Yeah.
can be single and enjoy random sex.
A lot of people don't think that because there's a stigma. You should be with a partner for the rest of your life.
But
And
if you're
that's
not
who you
ready,
should
if
have
you're
sex
not,
with.
but why lie to yourself?
Yeah,
Well,
but
if you're not ready for a relationship, well, why lie to yourself?
yeah, I don't know.
Well, anyway, man, I want to thank you for your time, man. I really, really appreciate it. You really helped ease my nerves having someone to talk to instead of looking at my crazy ass face. And
No problem. My pleasure.
So really, really appreciate it. And it was good so they get the nerves out and just actually get this first thing out the way. Hopefully I'll be more prepared and I have a better system because I have this jerry rig system, got wires up. If I blow up, it's because this shit is all fucked up.
Let's hope not, please.
Yeah, so watch a live freaking explosion and shit.
Nice.
Anyway, so I want to thank you for coming on, and hopefully I'll see you again soon. If you
Yes,
find one of my
definitely.
topics, entertaining, we can chat about it. So thank you very much, and I will see you next time, man.
All right, take care. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Take care, guys.
Have a beautiful night, guys.
All right.